Hotep, I am the Amen Osiris, the one and only undisputed God of law. We are Deception Stoppers, America's only 4D education service. I am not a lawyer. This is not a law firm. I do not advocate that you don't support your human offspring. I simply advocate that you made them in private, you take care of them in private. I am the 4D destroyer. Now, today I'm going to again prove to you, and I'm going to beat it in your head so many times until you start getting it. Right? You are not obligated to pay the 4D crime family. Okay? All right, and I'm going to show you why. Now, I've showed you this before. We're going to take it to a different level this time. All right, I'm going to be showing you some of the same words, but I'm going to show you how to put those words in sequence, all right, which are going to prove that you are not obligated to pay the 4D crime family. Okay? Now, number one, check most constitutions, they will word it as this: all men are by nature free and independent and have certain and inherent inalienable rights. Okay, these are your rights. To secure these rights and the protection of property, governments are instituted among people, deriving their just power from the consent of the governed. All right, remember, you have to consent to be governed. Consent means voluntarily yielding your will to the proposition of another. All right? As you know, and if you do not know, all right, you're going to know when I'm done with you. Free not means not subject to the legal constraint of another. Unconstrained, having the power to follow the dictates of his own free will. That is you. Okay? You have the power. Okay? You just don't use it. You keep yielding your will to the proposition of the 4D crime family. Independent, not dependent, not subject to control, restriction, modification, or limitation from any given outside source. Who is the given outside source? The 4D crime family. Okay? So you have inalienable rights, right? Which means not subject to, there's that word again, all right? Not subject to alienation. The characteristic of those things which cannot be bought or sold or transferred from one person to another, such as rivers and public highways and certain personal rights, all right? Such as you being free and you being independent and your inalienable rights, okay? These are your inalienable rights, okay? Right here. All right, these are your inherent rights. You are born with these. And gentlemen, I'll say it again. Your rights do not come from the Constitution. You are born with rights. You were born free. You were born independent. Okay? Those are inherent rights. You're born with that. Those are your birth rights. Everybody on this planet has them. This is what you call the law of nature. Okay? Now, the problem is, how did you become subject to? Because you notice, look, this is free means not subject to, independent means not subject to, and it also means not dependent. All right, look, inalienable rights means they are not subject to alienation. So what is subject to? Liable, subordinate, subservient, inferior, or obedient to. Now, wait a minute. I thought you were free. How did you become all these things? How did you become liable? How did you become subordinate, subservient, inferior, or obedient to? Okay, let's look at a few words here. Liable, a condition of being actually or potentially subject to a what? An obligation. How did you become liable for a Title 4D obligation? Obligation, law or duty binding a party to perform their agreement and undertaking to perform. All right, all contract words: perform, undertaking, and agreement. These are all contracts. All right, binding. All right, you are bound to a contract, and once you bind to that contract, all right, then you are performing a duty. What? As what? Not as a man, but as a non-custodial pay branch. Okay, because that's who is obligated to pay Title 4D. All right, subservient. Prepare to what? Obey others unquestioningly. Well, hold on. If you're free, not subject to the legal constraint of another, then seriously? And look, check this out. Not subject to the legal. All right, what does legal mean? I already taught you this word. What is that? Legal means created by law. This is contract law. All right? It's all contract law, gentlemen. All right. So, subservient. All right. You got inferior, lower in rank, status, or quality. Well, hold on. Aren't all men by nature equal, free, and independent? Rank, quality. All right. All men on this planet have the same rights. No one has any more rights on this planet than you or me. Okay. But you are what? You're consenting to be governed. We're going to look up that word dependent in a minute so I can show you why. All right. So, obedience, obedient to, look, obedient, compliant with a command, prohibition, or known law. All right, well, if you're free, not subject to the legal constraint of another, how can someone give you a command? And how is it that if you're free and independent, you have to be in compliance with that person's command? All right, and then it says known law. What law? This is the law. Okay? The Constitution is law, gentlemen. That is the supreme law of the land. These Title 4D provisions and statutes are not law. They are legislative rules of society, all right, that have the force of law and require your consent. Okay? Now let's keep it moving. So, obedience, compliance with a command, prohibition or known law, and rule of their duty prescribed the performance, there it is, contract, what is required or enjoined by authority. What authority? What man can have dominion over another man? Someone explain that one to me. What man has dominion over you? What corporation has dominion or authority over you? Or the abstaining from what is prohibited in compliance with the command or prohibition. There it is again, command. All right. So you notice it says enjoined by authority. Enjoin, here it is, require command, positively direct. To require a person by writ of injunction from a court of equity is Title 4D, those contracted courts. Number one, they're not courts, and they damn sure ain't courts of equity, and we'll prove that in a second. And there's that word again, perform. To perform or abstain or desist from some act. Okay? Now, here's that. Let's look at the word obligor. All right, and as I told you, the word obligor, the word obligee, comes from they are derivatives from the word obligation. Okay, they are all one in the same. Okay, so right here it says obligor, the person obligated to pay child support, also referred to as the non-custodial pay rent. Non-custodial pay rent is positively identified by a Social Security number, gentlemen. All right. Now, look. Let's look at the word obligate. To bind or constrain. To bind to the observance or performance of a duty. To place under an obligation. To bind oneself by an obligation or promise. Did you promise to pay Title 4D? To assume a duty. To execute a written promise. What is a written promise? A written promise is a contract. A covenant is a contract. To make writing obligatory. This is a contract. Okay? Now, you can tell it's a contract because they're obligated to pay child support. The obligor is. Who is the obligor obligated to pay? The obligee, the person in favor of whom some obligation is what? Contracted. An obligation must be contracted, gentlemen. Okay? No contract, no obligation. Now, to prove that you're never going to go to a court of equity, all right, right here, equity. Obligation is ethical rather than jurial, and its decision belongs to the sphere of morals grounded in the precepts of conscience, not any sanction of positive law. All right? Child support has nothing to do with ethics. All right? It has nothing to do with morals. All right? What it has to do is with profit. All right. The 4D program is a partnership between the federal government and the states. Partnership is an association of two or more persons as co-owners of a business for profit. Okay? How does a business make its profit? Off of customers. You. Their custodial and non-custodial pay rents. Okay? So the obligee is the person in favor of whom some obligation is contract. A person is not such because he is human, but because rights and duties are ascribed to him. The person is the legal subject, and when rights and duties are attributes. Okay? Let's verify that. Person. Nope, passed it. A person is not such because he is human, but because rights and duties are ascribed to him. The person is the legal subject or substance, all right, that means it's not real, of which the rights and duties are attributes. What is an attribute? It is something that is added. The individual human being considered as having such attributes is what lawyers call a natural person. Well, you got a problem there because it doesn't say, oops, wrong book. It does not say that all persons, all right, anytime if you read within the Constitution, simply go to the preamble. It says, we the people of whatever state are grateful to Almighty God for our rights and whatever, whatever. All right, Genesis 1:26, and God said, let us create man in our image and likeness. So they are speaking of man when you see the word person. However, if you go and just, being funny and using the Bible, you use Quran, whatever, all right, it says, let us make man in our image and likeness. It does not say anything about let us make natural person in our image and likeness. All right, you have to distinguish those words. Okay? Men are by nature free and independent. Non-custodial parents are not. They are obligated to pay through some type of contract. All right? They are subject to, they are liable, they're under an obligation, a duty, an agreement, an undertaking, their performance. They are subserviently, they obey unquestioningly, they are inferior, lower in rank, status, or quality. All right? They're under obedience, they obey. They're in compliance with a command. Okay? They are enjoined. All right? And more importantly, they are as legions. They are creatures of law. Okay? So when did you de-evolve your status to obligor? How did you become obligated? Where did this obligation come from? Obligation comes from a contract. Okay? The baby mama is not the obligee, fellas. All right? The 4D agency is the obligee. All right? Scott Leakin, the federal OCSC, they're the obligees. Okay? All right, his little extensions that are operating in the state, they're just basically, they're putting liens on these social security numbers and they're holding you as guarantor to pay those liens. Okay? How did you get obligated to those? Okay? So the problem here is, gentlemen, here you have, in order for a real court to have standing, all right, someone must violate one of your rights that is secured. All right. And again, your rights don't come from the Constitution. It basically tells the government, when it comes to this, don't bother it, don't touch it. But they do it all the time. But more importantly, since the 4D crime family is not a government agency, it's not a state agency, it's a federal agency operating in the state. All right. The federal government is a foreign corporation in respect to any republic. All right. Republic of New York, Republic of New Jersey. All right. Republic of Pennsylvania, Republic of California. You got to get out of the state of California or wherever and get back to the republic for which it stands. One nation, indivisible. All right. So you are not obligated to pay the 4D crime family unless there is a contract. All right. And it must require the 6 elements of a contract that make a lawful contract, which more importantly is full disclosure. All right. Do not let them throw that paternity establishment in your face. Do not let them throw the marriage or divorce settlement in your face. All right. Even though you did kind of contract, and let me show you how you did. Let me go to the word dependent. All right. And you're going to see something here. And the only way you can become dependent on the state is you have to go into a contract, all right, because it requires extraneous evidence. All right, and where's it at? Dependent. Look, deriving existence, support, or direction from another condition in respect to force upon extraneous act or fact. Okay? If you got a driver's license, that's an extraneous act or fact. Right now, you're dependent. So when you're no longer dependent, then you waive that dependence, which means you also waive your freedom, and then you become subject to. All right, let's look up extraneous. With reference to a what? A contract. All right. Deed, will, or any writing, extraneous evidence is such as is not furnished by the document itself, but derived from outside sources, the same as evidence. So, gentlemen, all right, if you are free, all right, if you're dependent, which means not dependent, right? Where's it at? Independent. All right. Now look, this is where you fail. Independent, not dependent, not subject to control, restriction, modification, or limitation from any given outside source. So extraneous with reference to a contract, deed, or will, any writing extraneous evidence is such as not furnished by the document itself, but is derived from the outside sources. All right, so you just killed this when you got a marriage license, when you got a driver's license, CDL, anything that you did with the state, it's all contractual. It is ex contractu. All right, and everything that you're going through now is a result of a contract. Okay? So now, not only are you subject to the power of these outside sources, you also just waived your freedom. You're no longer free. All right? Soon as you have to waive your independence first. So you're free to not go down here and fill out applications from the shit from the state. Somebody asked me the other day, man, what are you going to do with your money? I said, I don't want no money from them people. And not to mention, I'm not a United States citizen anyway. So I couldn't get it. Not that I want it. I want nothing from these people. I got my own. Thank you very much. Okay? Because I'm independent. I'm not dependent on the system. I will never be dependent on the system. Okay? I'll die in the street first. All right? I'm keeping my freedom. I'm exercising my right to be free. And I'm maintaining my right to be independent by being just that. I'm not dependent. Okay? There is no contract. Right? And what has to happen is you got to stop doing what you're doing in order to stop getting what you're getting. Every time you go and you get a license or whatever from these people, all right, you're no longer free. You're no longer independent. You waive all that. Okay? When you walk into these 4D hearings, all right, you're not walking in there as a man. You're walking in there as an obligor who is under an obligation, who is subject to, liable. All right, that's why they tell you we're not here for that. Now, we don't hear all that. You're an obligor. Shut your face and do what you're told. Okay? That's why you can never go in there talking about your rights and this and this and that. All right? They're going to tell you we're not here for that. So you have to attack them from another way. You have to hit them with the power of paper. Okay? Remember, the burden of proof rests on he who asserts, not he who denies. All right, so what has to happen is somebody's got to prove that you're not a man, and somebody's got to prove that you're not free. And then somebody also has to prove that you consented to be governed. All right? All right, just power. Just power means they need your consent. All right? That means it's just, it's real. No, not without your consent. All right? Just powers, look. Deriving their just powers. In other words, you're the one who gives them the powers by the consent. Stop consenting. All right? Stop consenting. This means stop bending over. Jonathan, I am the Amen Osiris. If you need help, you can bang my email, 4d_destroyer@yahoo.com. Please give me a minute. I will respond. All right, but more importantly, you got to free yourself, gentlemen. All right, again, you have to free your mind. Nobody, even the God of law, can free your mind. I can show you where the light is at that tunnel, but you have to get there. Okay? Read some of Marcus Garvey's writing. Marcus Garvey even tells you, all right, you got to emancipate your mind. All right? Nobody out here on YouTube can save you. You have to save yourself. All right? This is why we're teaching you this information. Right? Too many, whatever services out here. That's fine and dandy. All right, but no matter whose service you get, if your mind ain't free, it ain't going to work for you. Okay? These are basic facts. All right, these are basic facts. And guess what? Child support, because it's dealing with obligation, all right, it's contractual. Start demanding these contracts. If they can't produce the contracts, all right, then take them to court. You know, again, stop being the stop being the fly and start being the spider. All right, start inviting them into your web, and when they come into your web, damn, it's too late. By the time they realize what they landed on, all right, you're already injecting them with your poison, you're sucking them dry. All right, it's time for you to be the boss, folks. Be the boss of your own life. Be the boss of your own destiny. All right, and the only way you can do that is get your nose out of the air, get them TVs turned off, and now with everything shut down, you got a lot of time on your hands. Yeah, that's why I'm telling everybody, if you need a copy of this Black's Laws Dictionary, all right, hit me up. I will get you a copy of it. I will give you one. It's not a problem. Okay? But you want to start getting into child support basics and tearing down every word. But more importantly, you really don't even need to do that. All you need to know is that you're a man and you used to be a man. All right? You was born a man. You were born free and independent. I don't know what you are now. Because if you got a 4D issue in your life, you definitely are free and independent. So what you gonna do about it? Are you going to be a man and be free and independent and free yourself from the 4D crime family, or are you going to stay as you are? Okay, you need to think about that. I told you your biggest problem. You want to find out where it is? Look in the mirror. Your biggest problem is your ignorance and your fear. All right, they're ruling with fear. Lose that fear, brother, and they got nothing. All right. You got to learn to start cracking people in their foreheads for being disrespectful, going upside their head. Okay, that's what the problem is. See, ain't nobody fighting back. Again, we let them do all this bullshit, right? But we ain't out there in the streets like we should be taking our rightful place. Okay, real talk. But until we do, this corrupt ass system is going to get more corrupt, and it's going to be more damaging to you. Okay. Like I said, when the war comes, I'll be out there on the front lines with you. I ain't gonna be in the back with the toys. No, I'm gonna be out there engaging in battle. All right, that's how they did it back in the day. All right, the kings, everybody, the whole tribe went out, and the king was right there up front. And if you got smoked, he got smoked. But that's how it went. Okay. Now, gentlemen, you have your assignments. Okay. Again, this is very important because it's dealing with the words. If you tear down the words, okay, you will come to the understanding that you are not subject to them. And even if there is a contract, I can guarantee you they did not give you full disclosure. Okay? But really look at the words. It's right here. Look, obligor. Okay? The person obligated. All right? In order to be obligated, all right, it has to be, obligation is contracted. All right, it's very simple. All right, so you have your assignment, do your research, okay, and then you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And remember this, fellas, all right, not by age, but by knowledge is wisdom acquired. Okay, I can tell you right now, if under the current rate, if their Title 4D skills is no match for yours, you win. If your Title 4D skills are no match for theirs, you're going to lose. And how do you plan on finding out their Title 4D skills? You put your nose in that book, you tear down every word. And you don't really need to tear down every word. All I did was tear down one word. Look, obligor. That's all I had to tear down. Just tearing down one word shows you that you're free. You see how you tear down, and then if you tear down a little bit more, then you tear down some more, and then you tear down some more, you tear the whole thing down until there's nothing left, until you know this. All right? When you know this is basic elementary Title 4D technique, gentlemen. All right? Outside of knowing the 4D, but more importantly, are certain words, just give it all away. All right? Is this a Title 4D hearing? Yes, it is. And who is this pertaining to? John Doe. And is John Doe the obligor? Yes. And according to the Glossary of Common Child Support Terms, obligor is the person obligated to pay child support, also referred as to the non-custodial parent. Is that correct? Yes. And the non-custodial parent, according to 42 U.S.C. 666 A3C, is positively identified by the Social Security Administration. as property of the Social Security Administration. Is that correct? Well, sir, I don't know about that, but anyway, okay. So, accordingly, the obligee is the person in favor of whom some obligation is contracted. All right. If the obligor is obligation is contracted, I'd like to see a copy of this contract that you're alleging that I'm obligated under. Sir, no, sir, my ass. Where's the contract? All from one word, gentlemen. All right. Now, I doubt very seriously, again, if you be able to get that one off in a 4D hearing, all right, because that's not what they're there for. They are there to, like I said, squeeze money out your ass. All right, but that has to be done on paper. Okay. Again, send a notarized copy. Start asking questions. Start making accusations. Give them a certain amount of time to respond. One, that if they fail to respond, then they agree with you. Acquiescence or tacit admission. All right. File an action in court. All right. Again, gentlemen, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just need to know that you're fucking free. All right. That's what you need to know. You're free. Right? You're not subject to the legal constraint of another. Right? So that means if you want to be free, then the legal constraint, created by law, you got to stop contracting with these people. You have sold your soul to the devil by holding their garbage in your wallet, gentlemen. All right? What more can I say? You have sold your soul. For what? Okay, men are free and independent. All right? All right, so the same saying, because you're dependent on them, you're no longer a man. You're a bitch. All right, that's exactly what happened to you. Now it's time for you to get back to your status, a man, equal, free, and independent man, the adult male of the human species above the age of puberty. All right, that's why it's hard for me to talk to certain people who don't have an intellect, because I listen to every word. Listen, I'm telling you, I've torn down every word in the Constitution. Every word that you see here, I've torn down. All right, that's why my vocabulary is off the meter. All right, I talk to these, if I go to court, I will talk to a judge like he's nothing. All right, prosecutors, sheriff's department, doesn't matter. They're nothing. All right, you got to know the same shit that they know. But more importantly, they swore an oath, all right, to support and defend the Constitution of this state, United States. So a real judge has to abide by it. So I'm free. You can't order me to do anything. Okay, I'm under no obligation. And as far as the law is concerned, which you swore an oath to, and if you don't uphold that oath, which is treason, I'm not subject to your authority. I'm not liable or obedient to you, and there's no law that says that I have to be. All right, you have your assignments. All right, the objectivity of learning words, and then once you learn the words, when you learn how to enunciate them and articulate them in a meaningful and positive fashion, all right, you'll slam dunk it. Okay. Just imagine if you got this script down. I mean, it's not a script, but you know what I mean. If you knew what everything on here means, then you also know that you are not obligated to pay the 4D crime family. All right. You have your assignments, fellas. Hotep.